Kia ora, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This we get everything you need to know, and 96 is at 9 o'clock. With news, we should note it's a public holiday in Australia today, so no economic updates from them. Over the weekend in the US, markets were anticipating a good rise in the non-farm payrolls jobs of 185,000. But in fact, this headline number was up 272,000. Even more impressive, hourly pay was up 5.3% from a year ago. Weekly wages were up 5.6% on the same basis. It is a pretty good result, and markets are assuming the Fed will look at this and see pressures that are unlikely to quell inflation. The March rise in American consumer debt levels was pretty modest, however. There was no evidence here that Americans are stretching themselves further with additional debt obligations. Meanwhile, American household debt rose more than 3.3%, or up $5.1 trillion to more than $161 trillion at the end of March from December 2023. And Canada also released labour market data over the weekend. Their payrolls rose 27,000 and more than the 22,000 expected. But it was all part-time jobs that rose. They rose by 62,000 and full-time jobs shrank by 36,000. Their jobless rate rose to 6.2%. They're probably not happy with this outcome, but at least their central bank has cut its official interest rate, and that may bring some relief to employment in the rest of 2024. Perhaps proving important context for the zooming container freight rates, exports from China soared 7.6% year on year in May, beating market expectations of a 6% rise. It was also up from a 1.5% rise in the previous month. It's the steepest rise in outbound shipments since January, fueled by a lower base from last year and sustained overseas demand. The IMF is pointing out that growth without sufficient productivity improvement is a problem for the world's financial stability, especially when the largest economies drag the chain on productivity. They seem to be pointing to the US on this, and that their expansions won't be sustainable without commensurate improvements in productivity. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.43% and down 1 basis point from Saturday after the surprise US non-farm payrolls result. And the price of gold will start today down $10 from Saturday at $2,293 an ounce. That's down $83 from Friday. And oil prices have been retreating slightly over the weekend and now just on $75 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is just under $79.50 a barrel. A week ago, these prices were $2 higher back then. And the Kiwi dollar starts today at just on 61 US cents, a little change from Saturday. Against the Aussie were unchanged as well, as 92.8 Australian cents. Against the euro were marginally softer at 56.5 euro cents. That all means our trade weighted index starts today still at 70.6 and also a little change from this time last week. You can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.